Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It took me some time to upload the third video of Amazon QA interview series as I caught COVID. In between, it took me 3 weeks to recover. So thankfully, I'm much better now. So let's get started. In today's video, we are going to cover the test case enumeration competency. It's a very core competency in QA job family, which we are gonna cover today. Doing well in this competency can make or break your chances in getting through. Before starting, I request you guys to like and comment on this video as they'll help me to improve the content. I'm still very new to YouTube and very new to making videos. Your comments will give me the right direction, and your likes will give me the required motivation to keep uploading these videos. You can also subscribe to my channel to get instant notification for new videos which are being uploaded. I'll keep uploading these videos every week, or at least I'll try to upload one video every week covering one competency. Sometimes if the content which I have can cover two competency, then I'll try to do that. But yeah, I'll need your support to continue doing this. So let's get started. First of all, you guys need to understand that in Amazon, at any given point of time, for any opening which is there, irrespective of the family, it could be QA or SD job family, there are tons of people applying, and out of those tons, there are hundreds of people being interviewed. For a single role, there are at any given point of time 5 to 6 parallel interviews going on. So you need to think that how you can stand out from those other candidates, and this video would mainly focus around what are the different ways to answer in a TCE round, test case enumeration round, and how you can stand out. So TCE is one competency where there is no limit to the answers. The more you dive deep into the question, the more scenarios you can come up with. So when you are asked any TCE question, first take a moment to understand the complete scope. To help you better understand what I'm trying to say, let's take an example. Now this is just an example. This in no way says that this kind of question has been asked or will be asked in an interview. This is just sample questions, sample question which I am taking to explain the process better. So suppose you are asked to give a test cases for add to cart button, which can be found on Amazon detail page. So if any of you guys have ever shopped on any e-commerce website, be it Flipkart, Amazon, Paytm, any website, you would see a add to cart button. So suppose you are asked this question and you are asked to give the test cases for this button. Now how would you approach this question? Now majority of the candidates, what they would do is they would straight away start with the test cases, and starting off with the test cases like I'll try to add an item, I'll try to add multiple items, I'll try with different other items and see if they are getting added, I'll see the cart, whether the cart is getting updated, and all sort of those things. The moment you start like this, you have almost lost the battle, because this is not what interviewer expects from an incoming candidate in Amazon. You need to be much more better than this. First of all, you need to ask some questions to the interviewer about the scope of this problem. If an interviewer asks you that you have to test add to cart button, you first need to ask that add to cart is present at various places. It's just not on the detail page of the product. It's present way down on that page. It's present on other pages as well. Okay. So you need to ask that are we focusing on any single type of button, or it's generic. You can also ask that are you expecting the answers specific to a particular platform, because this button can be used on different devices, different platforms, different OS. So are you expecting for any specific platform, or again this has to be generic? Similarly, you need to ask that should my answers be local specific, like India specific, or any local specific, or again the answers could be generic. So once you identify the scope, then you will be better able to structure your answer. 80 to 90% of the time, I don't see anyone asking these clarifying questions. They just start with plain vanilla test cases, and and trust me, you have lost the interest of interviewer then and there. So now the question comes that how do I stand out? Uh, so what I will be doing here is providing you some tips and tricks. Again, this in no way guarantees that you will clear the round, but it will definitely improve chances of you clearing the round by some percentage. So there are few things which a interviewer definitely expects from an incoming QAE, and if you are applying for a senior QA role, then definitely this is expected. So structure your answer in test case enumeration questions. Uh, Before giving the answers in your mind itself, divide your answers into different modules. Like a test case could be UI specific, it could be a functional test case, it could be a backend test case, it could be a performance test case, database test case, and accessibility test case. Accessibility is one thing which 99% of the people never talk about, but is because accessibility is never taken seriously in India. To be very honest, it's more of a US culture where we are trying to improve things for differently able people. So accessibility is definitely one thing which you should keep in mind while answering the test case in enumeration question, and this will definitely take the interviewer by surprise. Okay, because this is hardly answered by anyone. So you can divide your answers into these modules, and feel free to call out these modules, and be very vocal with your interviewer. Say that I'm dividing my answer in these modules, and then I'll be going one by one, and this is a very good way to start, which gives an interviewer a confidence that this candidate really is thinking through that how a good answer should be given, and putting effort. Okay, they are not just plainly starting with some P0 straightforward cases. So once you have identified the structure and highlighted these modules, then start going module by module. Like for UI, again, there are some vanilla cases like the alignment of the button, the color of the button, and different things as per the specifications. But again, there are few points which sometimes make you stand out. Like you can talk about language localization. Like if your scope is worldwide, then a very good test case is that I would check whether that button looks fine when a different language is used inside that. So this is like majority of the times, at least the entry level QAs who are coming, they never give this test case about language localization. Similarly, you can also talk about the responsiveness, that as a tester, you would be checking that how responsive is the design by going to different devices, and or mainly different aspect ratios. So you will test on a device with a different aspect ratio or a form factor. You will test on maybe Fire TV as well if that's in the scope. You will test on different browsers. So you will try to see that that particular button is responsive or not. So these are few answers that will definitely give you some brownie points. Similarly, for functional test cases, again, you can give tons of functional test cases. There is no limit to the scenarios of trying with one quantity, multiple quantities, different asins, different platforms where you'll try to click on add to cart and see the button is getting added. But again, the brownie points that you can earn here is like as I highlighted, that people very seldom call that they'll try to test this button on a Fire TV, okay, or on any IoT device. Okay, so you need to think global. Don't restrict your thinking just on what you have experienced in past, because when you are giving answer to this question, an interviewer expects that you think global. So try to see if you can recall those platforms or devices where this button could be used, and then if you highlight those platforms as part of your testing, then it will definitely give you some rounding points. Similarly, another important module is the performance test. If you are working in Amazon, everything works at a very huge scale. There are millions of clicks coming per second on these add to cart buttons, and this is a very business critical button. If this fails to work, it's a big loss for Amazon. So it becomes very important that we talk about performance test cases. So make sure that you call out that you will test this button in different ways. You'll do a load test, you'll do stress test, you'll do chaos testing, and different types of testing, and then try to explain that how you are actually going to do this kind of testing, if time permits, because that will give the interviewer an additional confidence that you are not just saying it for the sake of it. Maybe you can just take a quick minute and say that, yeah, I've used JMeter in past or whatever in past, and then this is how it is done. So they'll also earn you a brownie point. Similarly, for the functional test cases, you can also call out how you would test test cases in different network speeds. This is very important, especially in India, where the network speeds vary from 2G till 4G or 5G and then Wi-Fi. It becomes very important that your add to cart button is responsive even in low network speeds. So for this you can use throttling, which is inbuilt inside browsers. So try to identify such cases, out of the box thinking. This will definitely take you a long way. Similarly, for accessibility, again, if you guys are not aware of it, maybe try to Google it, that what accessibility testing is. But mainly this is about using some screen readers, and then making sure that a differently abled person, if uses screen reader, then it calls out the text on the button and the placement of the button properly. So this is what accessibility testing is. So make sure to call it out in your answer. Similarly, you can call out different database test cases, and backend test cases about the request responses. For the invalid scenarios, are the responses properly formatted, and they are more are they meaningful or not? Like, is the system able to handle the error scenarios? So straightforward scenarios are always handled in the systems, but the error cases is what which we should be most careful about. So if you call out those negative scenarios, then they'll definitely impress the interviewers. So this brings us to the end of this video. Just to summarize, we talked about two things in this video: how do you approach the question, and how do you answer your question. Approach should always focus on understanding the scope completely and becoming comfortable with the question. The answer should be well structured and divided into modules. Then you can go module by module and give test cases. Make sure you don't jump between the modules, because this breaks the flow of interviewer. So make sure you go sequentially. Again guys, just to reiterate, the tips I shared in this video are my personal views and in no way a cheat sheet to get through, but this will definitely improve your chances of getting through and clearing the rounds. But in the end, it all boils down to how effective answers you are giving in your interview, the quality of the test cases you are giving, the amount of edge cases your test cases are covering, along with the P0 cases. If you are able to keep yourself calm in the interview process, think about different use cases, and are able to come up with a solid P0 and edge cases, then it should be a cakewalk for you, and you should be easily be able to clear this round. So all the best guys for the interview. See you in the next video of another QA core competency. Thank you.